Welcome to another shir of Money Matters. This shir is like all the shirim, Elu Nishmat Rachelea Bat Reb Chaim Tzvi. We're still dealing with transactions. Now I want to talk today about some problematic transactions. Some transactions that according to Jewish law are problematic. And we're going to see that some of these things are things that today are done daily, and we're going to have to see how the halacha is going to deal with such things. I'm sure what I've just said up to now is totally not understood. Let me explain myself. According to the halacha, you can't buy a davar shelo bo l'olam. You cannot buy property that does not exist. Not only can you not buy property that doesn't exist, you cannot buy property that is intangible. Goodwill. Anyone who has a company knows that when you sell the company, you're not just selling the shop and the shelves and the warehouse and the contents of the warehouse. You're also selling goodwill. You're also selling the fact that your shop is a shop where there's many people who regularly come and buy from your shop. What's called goodwill. That's you can't sell a business without adding goodwill, because you're being done out. You're being cheated. Your business is not just worth the value of the property there. It's worth the value of the fact that you have a shop in a place where people know about your shop and people come there regularly. You've got regular customers. All these things put up the value, and you have to charge for them when you're selling your business. How to calculate it? That's a very difficult question. But it has to be there. In halacha, it's an intangible asset. It's something you can't feel, you can't touch. So in halacha, in the strict letter of the law, according to the strict letter of the law, it can't be bought or sold. A trade name, Coca-Cola. The name is worth millions. But what's there? What's in the name? The name is something that is not tangible. It's an intangible asset. Anyone who's seen a balance sheet of a company, you see you have a big section of intangible assets, goodwill, trade names, copyrights. Where does all this stand in halacha if we say that the halacha is, and you ask any yeshiva bocha, he's been mepalpel in these shilas all the time, a dover shelo bo le'olam, dover she'ein bo mamish, something that is not yet in existence, or something that has no essence to it. That these are things that cannot be bought or sold, and everyone is involved in the question: what's the problem of a davar shelo bo le'olam? Is it a problem that you can't make a kinyan on a davar shelo bo le'olam, or is it a problem that you don't have gemiras das, that you don't have a meeting of the minds when you're selling something that doesn't exist because the buyer doesn't know b'chal what he's going to be getting? But what are you going to do with modern day business where these things are done all the time? Me'ezrat Hashem will explain it in this shir what we do with these things. Copyrights. So I'm not going to deal today with the burning question of stealing copyrights. Maybe we'll mention it a little bit, because that's going to be a whole shir Me'ezrat Hashem by itself maybe later on. Because the whole question of copyright is something that's a really burning issue in our times. With the internet, and you can copy things so easily, and anyone can copy anything nowadays. But first of all, let's lay down the principle according to Jewish halacha. It's clear, Gemarot. Property not in existence cannot be bought or sold. Why? Is it because you can't make a kinyan on such a thing because the thing doesn't exist? You can't buy when you're buying a car, when you're buying a pen, when you're buying property, you can feel it, you can pick it up, you can touch it. So therefore you can make a kinyan on it. Is that the problem with the davar shelo bo le'olam, or is the problem that there's no meeting of the minds? There's no gemiras das for a kinyan because the buyer doesn't actually know what he's going to get. Even if he's shown something similar to what he's going to get, Maybe what you're going to give him is going to be slightly different. Even if it's not going to be slightly different, what he's going to be getting doesn't yet exist. So he can't have Gemiras Das to complete the kinyan, to make a transfer of ownership. Therefore, any transaction that was made on property that's not in existence, you're buying next year's fruits from a farmer. You're buying next year's crops, not this year's. And you're going to pay him now and buy. He can go back on the deal. When the crops come next year, he can go back on the deal. However, even though the deal is invalid, if he supplied you with the crops of next year when they came out, then we say that he cannot go back on the deal. But even though there was actually never any